The way that you talk about how products function, and this is just to me, I can only imagine the way you explain it to your clients. They understand it, okay? But we also think that like, well, you got to be this underwriting guru and just know everything about everything. How do you explain product to your client without talking over their head?
Yeah, it comes a lot from the same place that Tony talks about, is from the heart. You meet enough people who, when you ask them to bring their policies out, they really don't know what they have. Or they say, nobody explained it to me that way. And so I feel I'm obligated so that when this protection is there for them, that they at least hear it once. And then it's certainly better if me as a caring agent meets up with them every couple of years and maybe I didn't do a good enough job the first time around getting them enough money to protect their family, or maybe they got something extra in their budget, then I can go over those things again. But at the very core of it, when I sell that policy to them, I want to make sure they understand things like the living benefit or like what the policy covers. There are some people who think that policy only pays out in the event of an accident. So I go through all those details on my worksheet, and I explain exactly, without going over their head, that
right, like you're not getting into like cash value percentages and all. It's like, and I think because like we think that sometimes, like, oh, we're gonna have to know everything. Like, you give a lot of info, but it's pertinent info to allow people to move. Can you kind of run through, like, if you're sitting down with me, internet lead, 35 years old, explain to me how you're going to help me. You know, like something like that. Like, you're my client, I'm your client.
Right. So, and I'd find out whether, it's a difference between a 35-year-old who's single and then it's going to be about them, as Matt Smith says. That's going to be about them. So it'll be about the cash back, and it'll be very simply. Okay. It'll be very simple.
Make it the single guy. Yeah.
Single guy, 35. Real simple. If you die, it pays out. Protect your parents or your girlfriend. Or you're still alive at the end of the time period. Get all your money back. And then they say, wow, great. So that's the simplicity of it, is that they get all their money back. If it's a 35-year-old who's got a girlfriend and a child, an adopted child through his girlfriend, and then he's got another one on the way, then I'm going to, I have my worksheet that has like all the ways that a person can die naturally and all the ways a person can die accidentally and through common carry accidentally, and all the ways that they could use their living benefit with a critical illness rider, all those things that are really listed in the policy.
Right.
But they'll probably never open it up and read it ever. So I better do my job to give them a Cliff Notes version of it. And it not only does it build the value, that was a big key point for me.
What is that you bring out?
I have, everybody has like a worksheet, seen different like options worksheets for people within the company. And so I made my own. Early on, like Mark Mead said, you have to build the value by basically listing things and going over them that you and I might think, since we see life insurance policies on a daily basis, that it's nothing because we see it all the time, but our clients don't. And even though it's a life insurance policy and it says it pays out for accident, you'd be surprised at how many people go, it pays out for that too. Mm-hmm. So at least I'm going through all the forms of natural death, all the forms of accidental death, and it actually helps to bring emotion as well. Sean Mike talks about the head and the heart, and I'm kind of maybe somewhere in between. You're very effective if you have both. And being an engineer by education, I tend to be more of the head. But if I list these things and I say them in a manner that's emotional, that it's just adding on to the value of the policy. Yeah. And so when I get down to the critical illness part, I'll say, in this part, let's say you're in that in-between realm where you're not really dead, but you're not really able to live or work the same way because you've had like a significant injury, let's say, or illness that keeps you from doing activities of daily living. People in a nursing home, they need helps with activities of daily living, but you don't have to be in a nursing home to need help with activities of daily living. You could injure your back, and your orthopedic surgeon could say, Dom, we put you back together, you can walk again, but we used all this metal to cage and stabilize your spine. You're going to be really stiff getting in and out of a better chair from now on. You're going to need somebody like your wife to help you get in and out of a better chair. And your doctor may even say, and probably to steady you in the shower from now on, because you might get dizzy or lose your balance. That might go away, but at least for now, you're going to need that. That's 2 of 6. And Dom, the other 4 are dressing on your own, maintaining continence on your own, eating on your own, toileting on your own. You lose 2 of 6, with 1 expected to be permanent. You can accelerate and take up to 100% of that policy while you're alive, or a critical illness. It's all there on my worksheet, all these. And so I'm just reading along with them. Or a life-threatening cancer. That's not like a stage 0 prostate cancer like you and I tend to get. Men, we tend to get prostate cancer. Women, they tend to get breast cancer. Like stage 0 breast cancer is not life-threatening. But if they find some cells in your lymph nodes, we can survive that. They can treat it. They can remove the affected lymph nodes or treat us with chemo radiation. We can survive. But because it's moved to another part of the body, it's considered life-threatening. Or a stroke, heart attack, organ failure, kidney failure, Lou Gehrig's disease, or a terminal illness like a stage 4 cancer, less than 12 months to live. Same thing. You can accelerate the policy up to 100%. You could use that money to pay off or pay down your house, to make mortgage payments, or for a bucket list trip. So that's, I think in the way that I say it like that, it's emotion, it's not over their head, right, but it's something that they're going to remember, that aspect of it, and they'll actually be able to use it. Because I care enough about them so that they're not there like, oh, nobody ever told us that. Yeah. And I want them to use that policy if that comes about. And I'm obligated to at least present it to them once in a way that they may remember, so that they can use it.
Dude, that was so good. That was really good. This is why you sell so much insurance. And this is why people trust you. Because you explain to them stuff like they can relate to. It wasn't just, here's what it is. Here's a story of how it works. Hey, like when you said the doctor put the little cage thing over your back, you may be a little stiff. Dude, they could be healthy as can be at that point in time, but you made them think, dude, that could happen and I can get a surgery that I could be. It's very, very, when value exceeds price, people, all you're doing is value, 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 value. Then it's only $392 a month. People are like, well, I only sell little ones. I know, but you don't put value in it like that. Now, take me to whole life insurance. So people go, well, premium stays the same. Some pretty obvious things, right? How do you build the value there with Mary and Bob couple? Okay, build me value through a simple whole life policy. So,
simple whole life policy. Dom, your medical conditions are significant, but fortunately for you, we have protection for you. And it's whole life, so that means it lasts your whole life. It never expires. So, if you die, then Jane's protected. It pays out 100% right away, immediately. Like no waiting period, like some of that stuff that you see through the mail or on TV with Alex Trebek, where you got to wait 2 years for it to pay out. This one's different. You get approved. You don't wake up the next day. It pays out in full to protect Jane for any kind of natural death. It's cancer, stroke, heart attack, organ failure, kidney failure, COVID, Lou Gehrig's disease, COPD, emphysema, AIDS, or accident. That's gunshot, car accident, falling down the stairs, complication of a fall, drowning, getting hit by a truck. Some of those I add in there because I meet with truck drivers and I meet with people who live in rough areas that gunshots are a regular thing. So it really builds the value. Yeah. And or plane, bus, train, boat, ferry, capsizing, whatever. And it builds cash value. Not that you would need it, but let's say, and I'll point to the kitchen, let's say maybe 5 years from now, you need to borrow money for a new microwave. You can do that. It will reduce your death benefit by the amount that you borrow if you choose not to pay it back, but it's there for you in a pinch. And then Dom, if you're terminally ill, like less than 12 months to live, you can access up to half of the death benefit while you're alive. So you could take that chunk, you could use it to give to your grandbabies to see how it would impact their lives, to have that extra bit of money, give them something while you're alive to see how it changes their life, or just to go on a bucket list trip, or to pay medical bills.
These are all things that, as an agent, if you're watching this, you're like, oh, I knew that. I know, but did your clients know that? See, some of these things are so obvious that we just don't talk about it. Like literally talking about, hey, the premium stays the same. It never goes up. It's you know what I mean? Like they can't rate you up or down. They can just say yes or no. Do you know what I mean? Like just little things like that I've used in the home to let people know like what's out, like what else is out there, educating folks and helping them move to protect their family, dude. So that's term with the guy 35 and unhealthy, or an older person with whole life insurance. I'd replay that if I'm watching this right now. I'm going to replay that. All right, because that was